The Biden administration is now openly mocking Americans who aren't buying into their electric car scam. Joe Biden's fantasy of replacing your gas guzzler with an EV is short-circuiting. Sales are nowhere near what the administration promised, and most people don't have the green to go green. But America's hard hat-wearing Transportation Secretary is keeping the faith. Pete Buttigieg is dismissing anyone not on board with the EV revolution as some kind of tech Neanderthal.
Let's be clear that the automotive sector is moving toward EVs, and we can't pretend otherwise. Sometimes when these debates happen, I feel like it's the early 2000s, and I'm talking to some people who think that we can just have landline phones forever. The reality is that the automotive sector is moving toward EVs, and the U.S. can either fall behind China or we can claim the lead. President Biden wants to make sure that those EVs are made in America.
Buttigieg going on to brag about his at-home charger, which is a luxury that he is afforded, but not for the rest of us. Joe Biden has spent $7 billion of your tax money and has produced only 7 stations in 2 years.
There are more ways to move electricity than there are to move than there are to move liquid fuel. You know, that's why in my house in Michigan, I can fill our hybrid plug-in electric with electricity. Obviously, I can't do that with gas at my house.
Truckers are bashing Biden's EV push in their industry, saying electric big rigs are a pipe dream. Watch this.
There was a company in Joliet, Illinois, was going to put a terminal in for 30 trucks. The city said, you can't do it. You're going to use more electricity than the entire city of Joliet, Illinois.
Our newer trucks will have to have a longer than usual warranty. They're going to add that into the pricing of the trucks. Yeah. Which, for smaller trucking companies, they're not going to be able to afford it, and so they're just going to have to extend the life of their old trucks and become less efficient, and ends up creating more pollution.
All right, Jesse, you know, it seems the administration is in a big rush for this when the infrastructure is not only not ready for the charging stations, but it appears that our electric grid, as balkanized and as old as it is, isn't going to be able to sustain these electric chargers.
No, it's not. My dad sent me one of those funny old man videos from the internet that's like, what's the difference between a liberal and a conservative? And it starts out, well, if a conservative doesn't like to eat meat, he's a vegan, that's fine. If a liberal doesn't like to eat meat, he tries to ban meat everywhere. Yeah. Say, liberal doesn't like a talk show, conservative just changed the channel. The liberal banned the talk show. Republican doesn't have health care, maybe he's down on his luck. They see what they can do to improve their life. The liberal, give me stuff, free health care, welfare, make my life better. It's about personal responsibility. We live our own life. We make our own decisions. We're accountable. And the liberals just want to get everybody in society involved in their business. And I've had it. Just because something is new, Jessica, doesn't make it better. I know a man who only drinks liquids that have been around for 1,000 years. Only drinks tea, wine, and water. Should he drink a Gatorade because it's new? Because it has electrolytes, Jessica? Of course not. Something that is new doesn't mean it's progress. Things that have been around for thousands of years are actually pretty good. Look at the architecture. You see around these great buildings, some of them look like they were just put up a couple years ago, and they look like vomit. How about fashion? You ever see men's fashion these days? It's ridiculous. Go back to 1820 in Great Britain. Everyone looked like a stud. Do you think it's better to read a book, or do you think it's better to stare at the stupid screen all day? It's better to read a book. Did you know this, Jessica? That Jessica, an electric car is twice as heavy as a regular car? So we're going to double the weight on all the parking garages, the roads and bridges. You think last bridge that collapsed is going to be a one-time thing? Everything's going to collapse.
Yeah, a Tesla is the same as a shipping container.
You're doubling the size and the weight of everything that's on the road. What do you think is going to happen to the roads? Mayor Pete couldn't even fix a pothole. There's going to be thousands of potholes all over the country. This is what we have to face.
Thank you, Jessica.
You're welcome.
Would you like to respond, Jessica?
It was such a rich diatribe. There's so much in there. I would be fine if most men dressed like upper-class Brits from the 1820s, but there were a lot of people not looking so hot in 1820 as well. So it's fashion. What else? The infrastructure. Well, we know the Biden administration cares about that. What else did you have thrown in there? Oh, the person who only drinks wine, tea, and would never touch a Gatorade.
My point is that
I know what your point was.
Progress doesn't necessarily mean a new thing is better.
No, sometimes there are things that are invented that are terrible, but there are other things that are amazing, and we should have a conversation about how you consume things, because you say you're happy to give this up, so you just sit there with your big book, but I don't think that that's really true.
Didn't say I'd give it up.
But you said it was better. Anywho, this is one of those issues where the administration does have a good answer that they could go towards, which is hybrids, and everyone agrees about that. So Mayor Pete is right. Secretary Pete, I'm sorry. Mayor Pete is just so much cuter. They know that the car companies, because all the CEOs have come out and said, we're not going to be able to make these targets. It is our aspirations to be able to cut down on emissions, but the infrastructure doesn't work for this, and we don't have the appetite, and they're too expensive for people. And most people who are driving electric vehicles are driving Teslas, and we know that Teslas are very expensive comparatively. So the hybrid route seems like the right way forward, and I think that's what they should be emphasizing, and the CEOs of these companies would also be happy.
You know, what's interesting, Greg, is that the EVs are slowing down in terms of people's appetite to have them. Even Tesla has suffered a slowdown in terms of purchases. So what is Buttigieg talking about when he says we don't want to fall behind China? Aren't we buying all the batteries from China to begin with?
Yeah, I just have to say, I just know Jesse too well now. You sat down and you're going, I can't believe we have to talk about this. And so you just decided to completely derail the entire segment with 2.5 minutes of magical nonsense.
Magical. Wait, emphasis on the magical.
It was magical. Look,
Yep.
I think that here's the problem here. But Buttigieg should concentrate on the more urgent issues that we are facing in the world of transportation. We have bridges collapsing, ships crashing into bridges, trains derailing, planes losing doors, people sleeping at airports. This shows you, when you listen to him, that sooner or later, luxury beliefs will drain you of the energy that's necessary to actually deal with substantial problems in the present day reality. You know, remember, while all these things are going wrong, this guy was preoccupied with how racist the roads were in the past. And there's something else in his comparison to landlines. No one advocated for bans for landlines like they're doing with gas cars. We didn't demonize people for having landlines. We didn't say you have blood on your hands, Grandma, for still using your landline. And we didn't push our argument based on faulty science and faulty statistics that are all coming apart now. Landliners weren't pressured or vandalized, had their places vandalized as a means to encourage them to change. Gas-powered vehicles, unlike landlines, provide the foundation for the running of this country. Your food, your housing, your work relies on consistent energy. And as much as we like wind and solar, it's not consistent. And with electric, it's great, but it's an alternative. It's an option. It's not a replacement. And finally, to point out the obvious, when he was talking about his electric car at home, he still has to plug it in, like a landline. You don't have to plug in. You don't have to plug in a gas car. And this has always been my issue as somebody that suffers from CAS, which is charge anxiety syndrome. You know, you're charging plugs and you're worried about your batteries of your laptops, your phones, your earpods, your speakers. I don't know if I can handle another charging station and worry about my car. I already suffer from RTPA, which is road trip P anxiety, where I'm constantly worried as I get older, going on long trips. Can I actually do 2 or 3 hours driving without stopping? I can't. So you're going to add to the RTPA this charge anxiety. I don't think I'll ever leave the house.
It's almost hard for you to get through the show.
Oh, my God.
I was going to say, this is
I might have to go right now.
anxiety-filled hour of my day, but I can't leave.
You know, Joliet, Illinois would not allow for the building of a terminal with charging stations for these, I guess, 18-wheelers. They said it would overburden the electric grid.
Absolutely. And also for the truckers, this is really important. If you think your products are expensive now, wait till the truckers cannot deliver goods except for they have to charge for 2 hours. Then they can only go 70 miles. And then they got to charge again, whereas today they fill up once. They do all their deliveries for a day, then they fill up again. And so that the truckers have a very good point, and that goes right back to your pocketbook. We buried the lead on something Jesse said. His dad sent him the old man video, which is how maybe the dad is turning a little bit. I'm always surprised when it's like the Biden administration believes, and maybe they believe this is true, that Secretary Buttigieg is their sharpest communicator. But every time he talks, I'm like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. Because as you were saying, the government wasn't trying to give people money in order to get them to leave landlines or buy cell phones. People did that because it was convenient.
My cell phone rebate.
Right? So it was convenient. And also, families did a cost-benefit analysis. They said, it is worth it for me to have this phone because it's convenient or I'll feel safer with it. The other thing is the messaging progression on electric vehicles has been very fascinating. It began with, you can save money on gas, and that's why you should get an electric vehicle. Remember, this is at the beginning of the Biden administration. And then it turned to, we will literally pay you to buy these electric vehicles. So here's all these subsidies. And now it's, if you don't buy these vehicles, you're a flat earth rube. And thank you. That was the point I thought of right before the show.
That was a good point.
It was a good one.
Thank you. I really worked on that all day, and I had nothing until that moment.
Okay.
Click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You won't get it anywhere else.